phone. Let me ask them. Hey,
Wait,
I have a
okay, wait.
question.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish my story.
Oh, hold on. Let my friend finish.
So, so what's it called? I went to class and then I was like pissed off. I was like, what the fuck, you know? Like I was like very pissed, you know? And I was like, whatever. So my class was like, my
Yeah, but
class was
it's
like
like a
five.
bigger story.
My class was like 5 seconds away from her class, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So what's it called? I guess she didn't know that, and what's it called? I went to class, and then whenever I got out, I waited for her, and once she got out, Steven was waiting for her, dude. Like just straight up waiting, and they were walking together for like 5 seconds, and then just something came over me, dude. Like I swear, I think it was the council or whatever that shit is inside of my head, and I just completely let go, dude. Like I just let go and I was not in control of my body at all or my actions, and it just felt like I was in like third person. And I got Yasmin and I grabbed her and I just moved her to the side and I was like, "Bye, Steven. I'm gonna talk to Yasmin." And then he looked at me and then he was like, he just looked at he just looked at me and then he started following me, dude. Like he started following us and I got pissed and I was like, and I had like my tension up, you know, like I was on guard, like I felt like this man was about to like punch me or whatever, you know, and I was so ready for that shit, dude. Like I wanted him to do that, dude. Like my blood was just flowing, dude, and I just felt every moment, I felt every second, dude. It felt good.
Good
Anyways,
enough for her. Hold up. What did you? Wait.
and
No, no. Hold on. No. That's disrespectful. I know what you said. That's disrespectful.
and what's it called? I was telling her, I was like, I want you to stop talking to him entirely. I don't want you like talking to him at all, texting him at all. I was like, you're like whenever you gave him a hug, it really broke my heart and it just completely destroyed me. And she was like, okay, whatever. And I was like, promise me you're gonna stop talking to him. And she was like, I promise I will stop talking to him. So I went to class, and whenever I went to class, what's it called? She then texted me, and then she texted me and she said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna stop talking to Steven at all." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I got really pissed off. And what's it called? Everyone was telling me just break up with her, just break up with her, just break up with her. But I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And I went to her class again, and then I was talking to her about it. I was like, look, I'm really pissed off right now, and like you're really like pissing me off
You
on
better
what you're
not kill
doing.
me.
And then her cousin Abigail came up, and then she was like,
I
look,
don't believe that.
and then
There's a spider.
and her cousin Abigail went up to Yasmin and me, and then Yasmin,
Mm.
and then she went up to Yasmin. She was like, "I want you to stop talking to that nigga." And then I was like, "Do you mean me?" And she was like, "No, the black guy." And I was like, fucking
What black
exactly."
guy?
And I jumped up, dude. I was like, "Thank you, Abigail. Like you're on my side on this shit." And then like Abigail was just, oh, it doesn't matter. Eh, Abigail. Okay, so I was like,
So
"Yes, thank you."
I have. Wait, guys, a little pause. I have
Okay, fine.
I have
Okay.
girl insight, and this girl says that she might. Oh, I see. I need cover. I can't. How's it going? I actually have to do something. Wash the dishes and finish my homework. You can end the game. That's not the last one, is it? Oh, what? Oh yeah, stop the line on me. Alright, I'm sorry. Smile. Mm-hmm. Did we lose? Wow.
I don't care. Do it.
All right.
How'd it go now?
All right. So I went inside the wrong classroom, and I went inside 234, and Steven was in there, and the whole time he was like staring me down, dude. Like it was hilarious, dude. I was just laughing on the inside, and I was like, "Do something, I dare you." And what's it called? I looked at my
How did
friend,
you
and
get it,
then like
people?
he sort of got the message, and then like he nodded at me, and he was like, "I got you." And I was like, okay. And I was just waiting, and then I asked him like, what room is this? And he was like, oh, it's 234. And I was like, fuck, I'm in the wrong class. So I just left the class, and I went to the right class. And guess who was there? One of Steven's best friends or whatever. Her name's like Marie.
Ooh.
So I went up to Marie, and I was like, hey, can we talk real fast? She was and I gave her gum, and then I was like, what do you think about like Steven and Yazzie? And then she started telling me a bunch of stuff, how like how it's toxic, how like they shouldn't even be talking, and how she's gonna talk to
Yeah,
Steven about it.
yeah, no, hold on. They shouldn't be talking in general. She's right.
Yeah. So what's it called? I had the whole conversation recorded, dude, just in case Yasmin pulls me with the I need proof card. So I had the whole conversation recorded, and she was like, I'll talk to Steven about it, because frankly, I don't want him talking to Yasmin either. And I was like, alright, thank you. So, what's it called? I told Yazzie, I was like, hey, like, apparently Steven's talking crap behind your back. Even her own, even Steven's friends think that y'all need to stop talking. And then she was like, "Okay, I'm sorry," and she was saying sorry throughout the whole day, but it just felt like she didn't mean it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I then, sorry. So I went to class, and she was like, "It's fine. You don't need to send whatever, like, you don't need to send the proof or whatever." So I was like, "Okay." And while I was walking to class, I saw my friend Jason, and honestly, dude, I just couldn't take it anymore, like at all. And like all of it just built up inside of me, and dude, I just broke down crying, dude. And I gave him a hug, and then like I just cried, dude. And then he was like, "It's okay,
Dude,
man, it's okay."
Yasmin does not deserve you at all. Break up with her. Like, I
Yeah.
literally am about to text her without your permission to do it. She does not deserve you.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm not, but still.
And I saw, and then
It's an empty feeling.
he comforted me, and then I walked, and then I saw my friend Emiliano, and I did the same thing, and he gave me a hug, and I just broke down again, dude, and I just couldn't handle it. And I went to class, and then, what's it called? I just chilled, dude, and I was just pissed, dude. I was just super pissed. And what's it called? So we were talking or whatever, and what's it called? We talked after school, and then I was like, hey, like, look, I don't feel good about you talking to him, and not even your own cousin thinks that that y'all should be talking and stuff. And she was like, no, like, I'm still gonna talk to him. I was like, can you like stop? And then she was like, I was like, can you please stop talking to him? And then she was like, I don't know if I will. So I was like, okay, fine. And I just walked away. Like, she didn't want to talk to me at all. So I just walked away entirely, and I saw my friend Christian, and Christian was like, "Hey, bro, you good?" And like literally once he said that, I broke down in his arms, dude. Like I started tearing up, dude, and I honestly got some tears on his shirt. Fuck, dude, fuck. And then he started cheering me up, and he was like, "Fuck, dude," and he was like cheering me up and shit. Oh God, fuck. And
Hmm?
fuck, dude. So he was like cheering me up and shit, and I was like, "Thank you, dude. Like, I really need this." And I walked away, and I didn't really like break down, but like some tears got in like my eyes and shit.
Hold on.
And I saw my friend Leo, and I just straight up went to Leo, and I gave him, and I was like, "Hey, can I get a hug?" And then he was like, "Yeah, sure." Fuck, dude. Fuck.
Angela, say hi to my friend.
Your help is very helpful.
Milton, can you do me a favor, please?
Yeah.
Just, and I mean this in like a really nice way. Like in the nicest way I can say this.
I am repairing myself.
Break up with her because I don't like how you're sad right now. Because it's not like don't do it over text. Do it
Yeah.
in person.
Okay, so let me finish my story. So I went to Christian and then like I started like tearing up in his arms, and he told me that I should honestly break up with her. Everyone's telling me to break up with her at this point, even her own cousin. And I was like, okay, fine. Like I'm not gonna do it. Like I still want to be with her. So he told me what to do, and then I was like, all right, fine. He was saying you should break up with her, but that's just my honest opinion. And I was like, all right, but I'm not gonna do it. And I went to Leo, and then whenever I saw him, dude, and I was like, can I get a hug? He was like, yeah, sure. And then, dude, dude, I just fucking broke down, dude. Fuck. Dude, I just started fucking bawling in his arms, dude. I just couldn't handle it. I just didn't like how I was
Chris,
feeling.
I'm gonna need a favor.
Let's go this way.
I just couldn't,
Chris, I
dude.
might need you to come into this. I might need you to come into this room in a second. Yeah.
Just couldn't deal with that shit, dude. I just broke down in his arms, dude.
Yeah.
I just broke down. I couldn't handle it.